Hi, printmakers. Today we're learning how to get from our sketches from our final print onto our actual block so that we can make patterned paper. So today you want to make sure you have already completed lines, shapes, patterns, symbols, the more the better, in your sketchbook. You're also in your sketchbook brainstorming half a page and then tracing the template. So you have at least 4 final thumbnail ideas you got feedback on to then choose one final drawing, and you want to draw it in that final size, making sure that you are utilizing as much of that space as you can. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get tracing paper. Okay, and put it over your final drawing. You've gotten feedback, you know it's the way you want it to be, and you're going to tape down that tracing paper. You might want to tape the whole thing to the table so it doesn't move. And then with a pencil that is not mechanical pencil. First, I always indicate the corners so I know the placement. So I just need a little indicator. Then I'm going to trace my main lines. And you'll notice this one has a B, W. Those are, I've already determined which parts I'm going to cut out. And the B is for which parts I'm not cutting. That means it's going to stay black or be black ink. You can always do any colors later. You're just thinking in terms of black ink and white paper for now. And you do not want this moving around. So you want to take your time, trace your lines as accurately as you can. So I'm probably rushing more than I would recommend you do. And I've already drawn a ton of images, explored my ideas. I tried a ton of different stuff. I got examples off the internet, and now I landed on my own version that takes into account my interests along with some examples. I might want to include texture, like this is representing water, so maybe I'll cut around some lines here. I might want to include some more texture. I can always do that later. But you could also decide, okay, I want to show details. I recommend drawing them, if you know what they are, at this stage. So pencil on all the lines I want. Then I will remove that, move that out of the way. I have my block. Okay, and now the pencil is here. I'm actually going to flip it over. So pencil down onto the block. So I'm going to carefully remove my tape. I'm going to line it up with my block the best I can. This block, sometimes it's a little smaller than you had planned, and I do not, after I've pushed down on here, I don't want to move the paper around. So I'm going to hold it tight so it doesn't move around, wrap around and tape, wrap around and tape. Okay, remember, pencil is facing onto the block. Now I can trace over those lines. So the other side, that graphite is going to transfer. Okay, I also can go like this. It doesn't have to be precise. So you can trace the lines. You don't want to miss any though. My pencil is dull. You don't want a sharp pencil because you don't want to imprint. But you also don't need it to be too dull, or it won't do anything. So I'm just making sure I go over any of the pencil that is facing onto the block. So see how I'm just transferring this one kind of messy. It's kind of like using a carbon copy. Okay, I can tell I went through all my lines. I'm going to take this, remove it, voila, my design is there. Okay, Now the next step here is determining what am I cutting and what am I leaving out. Okay, so this is, I would be honest, kind of the lazy route. I'm just want to cut the lines and make it easy. This rectangle, I don't know that it's going to make a very nice pattern for my final paper. So you want to think in terms of what shape you're making your final design to make a pattern. But there's a couple different options you can explore. We'll talk about that with each person. Now I can use a Sharpie if I want to really make sure my lines stay. So if you have detail you're worried about losing, you can Sharpie your lines. Most importantly though, I want to be really clear, and I've decided here first what part I'm cutting out. And I could do white, or I could go like this, like I'm cutting that out. I'm cutting this out. I'm cutting this out. And I also could Sharpie in, like, okay, I want that to be black. I want this to be black. Like here, if I want to keep this mountain, I'm also going to cut this out, but I want this to be black. So I'm Sharpieing my lines if I need to. And then when I'm really clear, and again, you could, like I said, you could also make black what you know you want black. It'll make it a lot easier later to take the time to do that. You can also make any changes now. Like I kind of wish I moved that moon down a little. Once I'm really clear what I'm going to cut, what I'm not going to cut, the next step is to do the cutting. And that's for a different day or a different video. So example here, everything that's black was not cut, and everything that's white was cut and then printed. Okay, so same with this. It's hard to see this, but this is what it comes out as. This is just a test print, so it's kind of messy. And we will explore patterns using different ink. All right, thank you very much. Happy printing.